There are very few places where you can go fishing and have a chance to catch over 12 different species on any given cast in the same water. We're taking you with us to that place on this week's episode. It's going to be a lot of fun. So glad you're with us. Let's Fish TV is on the air right now. That is a fish. Oh man, look at this.
It's time for the only program that brings you real-time fishing reports from the Southeast region every week.
Oh my gosh. Oh, look at that. Woo!
This is Let's Fish.
Hi everybody, so glad you're with us on this week's episode. I am coming back to a place that I haven't been in probably 25 years. We're gonna go fishing this week at Batesville, Arkansas. This is the Lower White River. It runs out of several lakes up north of here. It dumps out some really cool water downstream, even in the hottest summer months, and it makes the fish very active. I'm gonna describe this whole fishery to you this week and give you a little information on how to approach it if you'd like to come fishing here. Now, I've brought the perfect river boat with me this week. This is the Low Stinger 198. It is the Cadillac of aluminum fishing boats. It's got all the nice stuff. It'll run these rivers fantastic. It's got the Mercury Pro XS 115 4-stroke on the back of it. Got my power poles on it. This baby is rigged out and it's perfect for the river. Now this is the Lower White River. It's got a lot of current running in it. Those lakes up north dump continual current into the river. So you've got to know some tricks and you've got to kind of know what to look for if you're going to go out and fish here. We'll talk a lot more about that coming up in the next half hour. While we're out doing that, we're taking you around your local region for this week's fishing reports from our expert team of insider reporters from lakes, rivers, and bays, right where you live, both saltwater and freshwater. Right now, the Low Stinger 198 goes down that boat ramp. Next time you see me, I hope to have a fish on out in the White River. Let's get things started back at the studio and your weekend planner.
Hello everybody, these Salooner tables are showing fair game fish activity both days this weekend. Peak daytime hours begin around 5:49 on Saturday and 6:49 on Sunday morning. The best evening fishing will begin at 6:14 on Saturday and 7:14 on Sunday. Depending on where you are, the sun will rise around 7:28 and set around 6:59. In evenings, we'll have a moon that is only 51% visible. Stick around, we've got fishing reports from across the area on the way. Plus, I'll return with Bassmaster Pro Angler Andrew Upshaw to answer this week's Ask the Pro question. Stay with us.
Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun out there. Bobby Garland Crappie Baits and the original Baby Shad and new Slab Huntar Minnow. Glacier Glove. Stay outdoors longer with our gloves, hats, and shades. Balls Out. Made in the USA. Heavy duty mounts for your fish finders. And by Camus Boats. Tomorrow's tournament boat today.
There's a good, healthy population of walleye in the White River, and there you go. Got him. That one. A fat dude. Wow, and I got my own worm inside of my ear. How's that? All right, well, there's a little largemouth for you right there with a fat little belly, little White River largemouth. That's real average for just an average fish you're going to catch here. Welcome back, everybody. Glad you're with us. See you, partner. Well, we made it out on the river, and it's morning on a beautiful morning. And let me give you just a little information about the White River. It flows out of Norfolk Lake and Bull Shoals Lake up in northern Arkansas. And those two come together to form the White River. And the water, when it comes out of those two dams, is really cold. Even in the middle of the summer, the hottest part of the summer, that water is going to be in the 40s because it comes out of that really deep 100, 200 foot deep water right at the base of the dam there on those two reservoirs. It flows down through the countryside about 300 miles until it dumps into the Mississippi River. And it's got several locks and dams on the upper part of it. And then along about Batesville, Arkansas is the last lock and dam. And then the river just flows down through the farmland, agricultural area, all the way until it dumps into the Mississippi, south of Interstate 30 and 20. So that's kind of the lay of the land. The water generally warms up as it flows down the river, but even in the hot part of the summer, even below Batesville, which is where we are, the water temperature will still be in the 60s and 70s right in the heat of the summer. So the fish spawn later, they're more active. It's a great place to fish right during the warm weather months. There's a lot of current in this river. There's typically a lot of water being released from those dams, and so you've got to have a really stout trolling motor, good batteries if you want to fish it. There are several ways to attack the river, and we're going to talk about those today.
Well, the coastal mullet run is underway because of these nice fall cool days, and that's making for some great fishing along the southeast coast. So probably some of the best fishing of the year. I'll be right back with this amazing fishing event, but first, this from our good friends at Foreshore Transportation. This part of the program is brought to you by Foreshore Transportation, the simple solution to all your freight hauling needs. Foreshore can ship freight across the country or across the state. Whatever the load, wherever the destination, Foreshore gets it done fast, safe, and hassle-free. Well, the mullet run is on along the southeast coast, and really some of the best fishing of the year is on tap right now. The mullet are running along the inshore waters, along the intercoastal waterways, and all the major rivers, streams. They're full of mullet. Some of them are really big, some are very small, fingerling mullet, and the same sort of migration is happening along the coastal areas, along the beaches, and all kinds of fish are feeding on them. There'll be redfish, tarpon in southeast Georgia, of course, jacks, ladyfish, trout, bluefish, sharks, just about everything's feeding on these mullet. Don't overlook cast netting the mullet and eating them. The big open water schools of mullet, some of these fish are 2 and 3 pounds. If you cast net them and clean them and smoke them or even fried, they can be great. Well, that's it for the southeast coast. Get out of the water after these mullet and take a youngster with you when you go.
Here's one in the current. He's got it. There we go. I got some kind of fish, but I don't, it's a walleye. Look at that. I caught a walleye. There we go. Look at that dude. All right, well, what a beautiful fish. And he is living right in there with the largemouth bass and the smallmouth bass. And there's a good, healthy population of walleye in the White River. And there you go. What a great specimen. We're gonna put him back. Oh, wow. Well, let me explain a little bit to you about how I'm fishing this stretch of river. There are 2 or 3 different ways you can go about attacking this river, the White River here, but what we're doing right now is we're going along the shoreline and fishing any log jam or current break we can possibly find. So if you look, in fact, I'll swing the boat where you can actually see what I'm talking about here, but this current is really heavy in here. It's real strong. You've got to have a good trolling motor, good batteries. But as you're going down through here, you'll see all this bank, and then, like right here, you see that log jam. Right in through there, all those logs, that big mass of logs. These trees have fallen off the shore, fallen in the water, and what they do is they serve as a current break. They'll just stop that current, they'll create a little pocket or an eddy behind that log jam, and it'll give those fish a place to rest in the current. They are opportunistic predators. They don't really want to be out here in all this strong current, so they'll lay up in those pockets, in those eddies, in those pools, and wait for food to get washed by. So all I'm doing is really just going through here with a little plastic worm, a little tattletale worm, and just pitching in behind all those log jams that I'm throwing on the back side, the down current side, and just letting my worm wash around in those little eddies and those little pools. And I've caught a few bass today. Now I've caught a pretty nice little walleye right there. So you don't know what you're gonna catch here at the White River. Look what I managed to do. That hit my big old Strike King buzzbait. There's one. That's a big one, right by the big one, right by the bank, right by some rock. Come here, baby. That's a big one. Nope, 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 nope. Wow. That's the biggest one I've seen. Big largemouth. Let's play him out. He's just got the back hook in him, but look at that. Wow. Well, welcome back everybody. We are still on the lower White River. And man, I've worked hard to catch a good one like this. Look what I managed to do. That hit my big old Strike King buzzbait. And that is a pig. That's about as big as you're gonna catch right here at the lower White River. I talked to several guys here that fish tournaments here and fish here every day, locals, that spend a lot of time here, and they say about a 5-pounder is the biggest you're gonna catch. And literally that fish, I don't have my scales with me, but that fish would push 6 pounds. That is a big old White River bass for you right there. Man, well, we're gonna put him back. Beautiful fish. We're gonna put him back, let him swim back. All right, buddy, thanks for the blow up. Well, let me give you 3 insider tips if you're coming to the lower White River. Talked to several locals here that live here in Batesville, fish here all the time, fish tournaments. Number 1 is look for rock. Most of the land around here is red clay or just brown dirt. There was one little patch of rock. In fact, I'll just swing the boat back in here so you can see it. But any little patch of rock that you find, you want to fish it, because the fish just migrate towards something different. Everything else is dirt. But you can see right here, this little patch of rock was where that bass was right there. Secondly, you see a lot of logs and floating timber and cover out here. A lot of it's laying out in the river. Leave that isolated stuff alone and fish stuff that's attached to the bank. So when you get a log or a bush that's laying over off the shore into the water, those are the ones you want to fish. Those are the ones that break the current, form a little eddy, a little pocket behind it. And thirdly, practice your casting before you come. You want to be able to hit your target. The bass that are here are in little spots like this. Particularly, you want to be able to sling a bait sideways, side-armed, underhanded, back underneath all these overhanging limbs. You can just see all these limbs overhanging. You need to be able to shoot a bait back underneath there proficiently in order to get your bait where it belongs and where it can get bit. And really that applies whether you're fishing backwater like we're fishing right now or out on the river. You need to be able to hit your target. So practice before you come. That's 3 insider tips for the lower White River if you want to come here.
Welcome to this week's report. It's brought to you by Bass Mafia. What an incredible product line. You know, people put all this money in tackle, but then they just put it in a $4 box. Well, Bass Mafia is going to cost you a little bit more, but it's going to last you a million times longer. Go over to Mafia Outdoors and check out their product line. You know, in Mississippi, I've got a good friend the other day that went over to Grenada, and he took a live scope and a single pole and went and just caught some big old crappie. Starting to move back shallow, they're getting around isolated cover. In Alabama, you know, the Warrior River can be a ton of fun this time of year. The big spots, largemouth, great place to go. Fish current kind of makes it a little easier to figure out where they're at, where they set up. In Tennessee, I'm gonna go this time of year. I love to take my family and go to Reelfoot Lake. I'm gonna go stay at Blue Bank Resort. I'm gonna go fishing with Billy Blakely, and you can catch bluegill, crappie. He's just trashing the catfish right now. The cooler it gets, the better it'll get. So just hang with us and we'll see you then. God bless you.
Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Mercury, Go Boldly, Lowrance, America's #1 fish finder, Lose, Feel the Difference, and by Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, Alabama. Get our free fishing guide at orangebeach.com.
Big wide-bodied white bass. It's kind of like saltwater fishing. You could catch anything on any cast. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you want to see more fishing tips, how-to videos, big fish catches, and full episodes of our Let's Fish TV show, be sure to subscribe right here to our YouTube channel. You can also like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter. Good fishing out there. There's one. What have I got? Right in the edge of that current. Hey, welcome back everybody. We are still on the lower White River. And I got something, a big old white bass. Here we go. Oh, look how fat that dude is. That's a fatty right there. Big wide-bodied white bass right there. I know they got tons of them in here. You know, one cool thing about the White River is that it's kind of like saltwater fishing. You could catch anything on any cast. You could catch a largemouth bass, smallmouth bass, spotted bass, white bass, crappie, walleye, sauger, striper, hybrid striper. Literally almost every fish in freshwater swims in this river. So if you just go down throwing a little something that looks like a shad or a minnow, you could literally catch anything. And that's all we're doing today. We're just fishing for whatever bites. And I'm looking for little eddies right off the main river channel. As you can see, we're literally drifting right down the middle of the White River. We're not going, right now, I'm not going back up in the little creeks and ditches. I'm literally on the main river just seeing if I can catch something. So I'm looking for any current break, anything that'll just break the current and make a little swirl. That's what I'm looking for, and that's where that white bass is. So there's another species for you, big old white bass on the White River.
Hey folks, it's time for your Carolinas Report. This week brought to you by Crazy Sister Marina, the leader in water sports along the Grand Strand. We've been here for years. We'll take care of all your needs and help you live like a local when you come down to the Grand Strand area. Head out with Captain Robert on the New Inlet Princess and have a great day with a big group of friends. You can find it all right here at Crazy Sister Marina. We're going to stay in saltwater. We're going to talk flounder. I tell you, most people think about May, April, June being great months for flounder, but October can be one of the best months. In the Carolinas here, those flounder start to get ready to move offshore. They're going to feed like crazy. We've got mullet everywhere along the coast and in the inlets, and I'll tell you, the nearshore reefs, the Davidson Reef, the Pawleys Island Reef, the Paradise Reef, the Little River Inshore Reef are all great reefs to get out right now and target them on the reef, or get around your jetties. I'll tell you, with all those schools of mullet that are making their move, you can catch some big fish right now. Get out with a jig or with the Carolinas rig and some big live bait, and be patient. If you want to catch the big fish, throw on the big bait. You can find some big flatfish right now. And also on the nearshore reefs, Spanish mackerel everywhere. Just find those schools, cast at them with a spoon, throw a mullet out with a little treble hook and some wire. You can find some great Spanish this time of the year. This has been your Carolinas Report, brought to you by Crazy Sister Marina. Remember, fish smarter, not harder, and keep your chaos organized.
There's one. Something small, but it's a fish. Smallmouth. Yeah. There we go. There is a smallmouth bass for you. Right here, the last thing at dark on a little bitty tattletale worm. Beautiful goldfish. You're not going to catch big fish when you come to the White River, but the species, the number of species, and just the quantity of fish that you can catch is really cool, and the variety that you're going to catch. Just a gorgeous fish. Right here, the very last thing, the sun's already gone down, and I'm just sticking it out. A lot of times, that last cast, that last bite is the one you want. And we finally caught a smallmouth bass to round out the trip. What a beautiful place the White River is. Just a spectacular fishery, cool water, even in the hot weather months, and crystal clear, and everything in freshwater swims in here. You might want to think about making a trip to the beautiful lower White River.
Watch our latest episode or catch up on past episodes on our website at letsfishtv.com. Be sure to hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter for new fishing videos every day. And download the free Waypoint TV app to get all the latest episodes every week on your phone, tablet, computer, or smart TV. Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Motor Guides Tour Pro, cable steer motor with GPS anchor, Waypoint Marine, the Gulf Coast's leading saltwater boating specialist, Strike King, Taiwan On, and by Low Boats. Welcome to Low Country.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's get right to your Ask a Pro question for this week. Riggin wants to know, how do you know when to pitch or flip a bait? For an answer, we asked Bassmaster Pro Angler Andrew Upshaw.
You know, when I'm trying to decide if I'm going to pitch, flip, or cast to a target, I'm looking at distance first. If it's within one swing of the bait away from me, that's when I'm actually going to flip and actually take the line and flip the bait to it. If it's a little bit more than that one little flip away, I'm actually going to pitch my bait. And that's actually where I put the rod in my hand like this, take the bait and pitch it to that object. It's extremely accurate. But once it's past a good about 15 to 20 feet, that's actually when I'm gonna incorporate my roll cast, where I actually roll the rod, grab onto the butt section of the rod, and swing it exactly where I want that bait to go.
Thank you so much, Andrew, for that insight. If you want some help from one of the pros, simply go to letsfishtv.com, follow the Ask the Pro link, and submit your question. Now it's time to find out who wins this week's Big Catch of the Week.
We are back at the boat ramp, the public access point right in Batesville, Arkansas on the beautiful White River. And it's time right now for the Big Catch of the Week winner. He is David Newman of Oak Ridge, Tennessee with a 16-inch crappie he caught at Melton Hill Lake, Tennessee. If you'd like a chance to be our next winner, all you have to do is go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/letsfishtv. Go to the Big Catch of the Week post. Every Tuesday we put one up, so go to last Tuesday's post, follow the instructions there to give us all the details, and attach your photo. Or you can go to our website at letsfishtv.com, go down to the Big Catch of the Week area and follow the instructions to send us your photo there.
Here's today's Right Stuff, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Here is some of the gear that you'll need to catch all of the species of fish here on the lower White River. It begins with the perfect rod and reel setup for this. It's the Lew's Custom Speed Stick Rod paired with the Lew's Custom Light Bait Cast Reel. It fits perfectly in the palm of your hand, the lightest bait cast reel that Lew's has ever offered at less than 5 ounces. We had fluorocarbon line, about 14-pound test, works pretty well. We caught lots of the fish on the river on a little Jean LaRue tattletale worm, rigged Texas style with a 1/4 ounce tungsten weight. And the buzzbait fish we caught, including that giant largemouth bass, came on a Strike King Buzz King buzzbait. And as you can see, I always add the Strike King trailer hook on the back of it just to make sure I get a good hookup. More than any other year in my lifetime, 2020 is the year that demonstrates that life can beat you up. Who survives it? Who makes it out intact? I believe it's those folks who pay attention to their spiritual foundation. Each of us is made up of 3 components: body, mind, and spirit. What about that third one? The spiritual foundation is where your faith lives. Now, I'll tell you in no uncertain terms that my faith is in Jesus Christ. But the good news for you is that you get to make that choice, and you alone. But please decide something. Deciding nothing gets you nowhere and sets you up for real problems in a year like this one. Thanks very much for joining us this week from the beautiful lower White River at Batesville, Arkansas. We'll see you next week. Until then, let's fish, everybody. I'm Barry Stokes saying be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.